top of YouTube? It's your boy KiteZz here with my lovely wife. It's just Alex.
What's up, peoples?
And today we are here with the Flock Talk episode 27. Shout out to the fact that we made it 27 weeks of consistent Flock Talks. Shout out to y'all. Don't forget that we are now streaming on Twitch. Twitch will be having VODs. If you guys miss reactions, you guys don't want to wait for the videos to drop, you can always go over to twitch.tv/thekitez and all of our VODs will be there. Don't forget to check out twitch.tv/it's just Alex. Alex has her own streaming platform. So it's just a matter of like, let's get to Flock Talk. Let's get to these topics. If you guys did not see this episode of Pop the Balloon with Arletta Muley, we had our resident super high value man come back, and he basically came back for another chance, and he was immediately popped on, and he had a lot of back and forths because a main thing, Mr. Top Tier, the main thing that people were throwing at him was that he was too short, and he let these women have it. He started going in, he started doing his thing. He was arguing these women down. He was bringing up the, the arguments of like, all right, you guys can say you guys don't like a man for height, but then you guys sit there and get mad when men said that they don't like wigs and weaves. It was ultimately, he basically took the internet male argument and came in there and argued with everybody. His segment was the longest segment in that whole entire episode. And it was to the point where even Arlette had to be snatching him and telling him like, okay, we're gonna move on. So let's hear people's talking point. Chris, since it's your topic, go ahead and start us off, brother. So what is your point? That way people can start addressing your point.
Well, my thing is, I think he was trying to be Aaron, the plumber 2.0. They couldn't get him back on the show, obviously, so they had to choose the next best thing, which is Bryan, basically, right? So that was my thing with that. I think he was there for views, because I noticed with some of the episodes, they've been super dry. So I believe he was there for that. Basically, I don't think he was there to find an actual match. He was there to crash out. I don't think he was there to find love. So, oh, by the way, I actually got a preview to Bryan's next book. He actually has another book coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know the title of it?
What?
It's called Crash Out and Find Love.
Oh my Lord. Okay, so what is the question that people are speaking on? What is the topic that you want people to speak on? Like, give us a question that overall people can answer.
Okay, my question to everybody and the men too: Did the actual crash out help? Because he was on there talking about, oh, you guys are a cop out and you guys are lying about everything. But did it actually help the other guys contestants? Did it actually help? Did it make the women realize? Oh snap, like we've been messing up on the show, basically.
Okay, so did Bryan's crash out on episode 55 help? Okay, all right, Chris, let's do it. First things first, lucid experience. Do you feel like Bryan's crash out on episode 55 did anything for the dating game, the topics, or the things that men deal with?
All right, well, first, thanks again for letting me be on the board. So I actually did a little bit of research last night about this.
Okay.
Because I was interested in just how everything transpired. Now, do I think it affected anything regarding the women? No, because women have the unbelievable ability to block out somebody they just met that they rejected and focus on somebody that's right in front of them. So he had absolutely zero effect on the future guys that came on there. But as far as for Bryan, what happened to him was actually more natural than anything, because it's more of like the need to belong. And imagine you come into a room and everybody just shuts you off immediately. before you say a word, before you say anything, before you open your mouth, before they even know who you are, they've already canceled you out. Because rejection is kind of like pain. It's not somebody hitting you physically, but it's somebody hitting you mentally. And it's like constant jabs at your ego. And you're at that point figuring out what do you do, because you're not sure what to do. And he has saw nothing else but to defend himself, because that was all he can do. Like his ego was affected negatively, and he's feeling like, is he good enough? Because he's been on the show multiple times and the same thing kept on happening. And I think the women on the show saw that as a weak point, and they kept on attacking it, which was, in my opinion, very lame, because at least they could have had some diversity on the reasons, rather than just kind of pick at that. I mean, if it was for entertainment, I mean, go ahead, knock yourself out. But it didn't necessarily help the show, because when the last girl, Jordan, who I don't even count as far as those 10, because she was on there before, got a match with a dude that had height, it kind of just validated everything that he was saying. It didn't help the show. It made people who had issues with the content copyright thing not want to even entertain it, because like, if you're going to continue to do this, why even watch? They'll watch the other shows because it seems even more authentic, even though it's not necessarily as polished. They like the fact that it's better. I feel like I'm going to get more of an actual human reaction than Arlett's.
Okay. All right. Shout out to the Listed Experience. All right. Mr. Yankee, do you feel like Bryan's crash out helped the situation that's going on?
God bless the 2G1A family.
Yes, sir.
Hope everybody survives the week.
Let's keep it censored this time, brother. Let's keep it censored. Okay, I don't want to edit. Let's keep it censored.
Okay. Whoa. Okay. Now, my thing is this. I think it did help, and I partially agree with the fellow speaker before me, and I also agree with what you said. What was that you said? Even though the message was rough, it's still the message. Indeed, it still has validity. Bryan's whole tirade, crash out, whatever you want to call it, had much validity than the majority of this whole show. And I could expect that from Big Home, because Bryan's been burnt, and he's getting to the point now where he's getting up to our age, like the 40s, like he's getting up to that, middle age thing. And he pulled that card, because you see all these girls sticking together and stuff like that. But circle back to old boy who's from the Bahamas, which is Eddie. Did you see? I wish you could go back to that scene where he was talking to Jordan. What was the other girl that was right next to her? The chocolate woman. The one that was right next to him. What's her name? Go straight ahead. Cut to, since you already got up, cut to Eddie all the way down to, I would say, 122-33.
122-33.
Wait, back. Stop.
Right here.
Stop right there. Yeah. When he said she looked good and stuff like that, and this and that, and then if you pay a peep game, if you peep what she said next to her, is like, yeah, and you was tripping out for nose rings. Look for that. Look for that scene.
I can't do that. I can't play it.
I know you can't. I know you can't play it.
Yeah.
But when you get time, I want the chat, if they can find some time, find that. Where'd you stop at? Where'd you stop at exactly?
That is
as far as the timestamp.
That is 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 8 seconds.
Go between 108 and 114 when it was all straight focused onto onto Jordan and what's the name's conversation. Go there, and right before old girl got to when it got to what's her name, the first one on the that was with the t-shirt dress, the one from my city.
Right.
If you notice how the shift changed, for one, Bryan already pulled Ryan game because she pulled a Bryan. Old girl with the short shorts, she pulled a Bryan. Then, if you go circle back to when he went back to old girl and talking to her, and the first one, she was already her whole MO right changed. Her whole mode changed. At first, she was confident, and then if you look at her facial expressions, she was like she had no dog in that fight. She gave up. But here's the thing that really kind of opened the wool over my eyes on certain things, and this is why I have a feeling that if Arlette doesn't make it more conversational and keep recircling the conversations back to certain things that's simple, basic Arlette one-on-one, it's the quality of the show's going to fall flat. And to be honest, I'm starting to see a pattern of it about to fall flat, and that's sad because I understand they got the Netflix money. I understand, even though I'm not accepting it. I still understand that us, you the reactor, and us the audience have another way of watching the show, but also have another way of having a commentary and a monologue and a dialogue about the show. But what I don't understand is if it's the same regurgitated stuff and you're bringing back ringers. You ever heard the term ringers? It's a sports term. I'm doing sports terminology. Yeah. You're bringing back ringers.
20 more seconds.
Knowing that these same ringers. Okay, 20 more seconds. Bring back the same ringers that's doing the same thing and then come out with the same result. Jordan's been on the show with the last time Jordan matched, it was with old boy security guard, school safety guard, and the model. Ask yourself the question. First of all, why is he back on the show? Second of all, was that a hidden acquitted? And third, why the main question with Jordan, which still kind of got me frustrated. If you don't have a commentary and a monologue with your own immediate family, and you're posing work as well as your career ahead of what really is. What are you on the show for? Are you on the show for clout, or are you trying to promote yourself? Right. Because that's all I've been getting. T put it out there saying, out of all the stuff that she was talking about, not one time was she talking about relationship, family, building, and coexisting, and manifesting wealth with family. Right. That whole conversation.
That's time, brother. That's time.
And I'm gonna close right there.
Yeah. No, that's valid. No, you're pulling great points. You're pulling great points though, because she did not mention that. 100%. Go ahead, Alex. So
I was gonna say Jordan matched with. Was it the guy that was like he was like a police officer or like
she matched with the one, he was a school security guard. He was the one where we kept making my 4-5 joke, and the chick called him out for having OnlyFans thirst traps on his page. That one. Tall Muslim guy.
Okay. So that was, you just said my point right there. That was one of the reasons why they didn't work out, because she kept saying like, we didn't align. But if you notice, everything that she talked about most of the time when a new male contestant approached her was God. So I think that was one of the things that she was really focused on this time around was, her faith. But that's neither here nor there. Moving on to the topic and staying on topic. Do y'all think Bryan's crash out helped or hurt the situation when it came to the other male contestants coming on the show?
Okay. Will Too Humble.
Yo, what is good? To be honest, it's a yes and no for me. I'm saying no is because you've been on the show multiple times. You already know how this goes. You know how this rolls. You know before you even get there. You know when you even wake up in the morning. You know what you're about to get yourself into. Especially being, in front of all the women with the balloon, and then you having your moments, especially the ones that went viral, what do you think was gonna happen? Like, you can't sit here and act like you wasn't expecting that or not expecting that to happen. You knew that was gonna happen. And listen, and then like to absolutely be honest, man, like I don't know why they decided to bring him back. It's just like, bro, because all I really got from it was that, okay, y'all really don't have the amount of people that y'all say y'all have. Because if that was the case, we wouldn't be seeing returning people. But I will say that it is like, I will say this part too. The reason I think that it was good is because nature, you start to see the nature of a guy. You start to see what they really be feeling. And y'all always sit here talking about how's their emotions, how they, sit there and, work on things if they're mad or angry. Like, this is the example. He literally just showed it to everyone. Like, especially getting popped on because of being short. That has got to be the craziest thing ever. It really is. And it's so unfortunate, because if we really sit there and look at it from a real perspective, majority of the people that make sure that our infrastructure is structured are literally that height. like, come on, man. Like, we gotta stop. We gotta stop with this crazy, like, oh, this person is not tall enough, I need somebody who is taller. And then what makes it crazy, they tell their heights, but then you're still short. You're still shorter than the person who's short. It's like, huh? Like, come on, man. You can't make this up. This is so crazy. So that's what it gave off. And then, and I'm gonna say this last thing, and I'm done. For the amount of times I hear someone sit up here and talk about someone's height, just know, that's the majority versus the minority.
Right.
Because if you're looking at the minority, you're going to be sitting there looking for a very long time. Meaning, what you want, everyone else wants. And best believe, you're going to be dealing with all the same guys. You're going to be dealing with the same ones. Competition sucks.
Right.
Good luck. That's it.
Hey, shout out. Hey, just on time too. Shout out Will Too Humble. Yes, sir. Shady Angel. Did you feel like Bryan's crash out helped the episode of Pop the Balloon 55, or what do you feel?
I feel his crash out. I wouldn't say it affected the other contestants, but it didn't do justice to either the women or the men. And I say that because it shows like there was only one match during the whole episode, so it kind of shows that the women's like priorities, even though they were claiming to be faith-based, if you're faith-based, you're supposed to look at the spirit and character of the person. So there should be more matches, but some of their pops were irrelevant and very worldly. And then for the men, it's like I don't know, his crash out just made them look I don't even know how to describe it, but it just made them look even more justified for not getting with these women, if that makes sense. Like, you wouldn't want none of these men, because they came out respectable, right? And then the women still popped. I don't get this the priorities when it comes to dating nowadays, especially if you're faith-based, right? If you're worldly, I can understand, but there was a lot of faith-based talk in the show, and there should have been more matches in this episode, in my opinion. And that's just how I feel.
Okay. Shout out Shady Angel.
Can I add something?
Yeah, you know, this is your channel. Talk your talk.
I'm just making sure. So I get, because I was on the same fence that everybody else was on. Like, nah, Bryan talking his talk. Like, nah, like he has a point. Like, why is it always like this? Why is it always like this? This is a double standard. Like, the women are tripping. This, blah, blah, blah. But when we had the discussion and we watched the episode and we were breaking it down scene by scene, height was a factor. as to why he got popped, but it wasn't the main and the only factor why Bryan got popped. I feel like looking back at it, it is a toss-up. It is a yes and a no that Bryan's point that he made, it helped because, well, it helped because it didn't really help, but the women proved his point right to be right. But the way that he did it did not help, because a lot of the women popped initially on him because of past episodes that they've seen him on, the interactions that he's had with the other young lady that has the 3 kids, the past interactions that he's had on the reunion, and his stance on women in general, and on top of him going back and forth with Alicia or Lisa on social media and stuff like that. So there was a lot of things at play that caused Bryan to get popped initially, outside of his height. But I do feel like by Bryan doing what he did and the way that he did it didn't help the situation. If anything, it does look like his ego is hurt about it, because even when the last young lady, the young lady in the middle, Jordan tried to give him a chance and try not to be like the other women and pop initially off of what she already knew, but because his ego and his rage was so up there, and he was so upset that the women popped and they were saying the same cliche answers like, it's because of your height, it's because of this, because of that. He was getting upset about it. He even accused Jordan of saying like, no, see, you rejected me because of my height, and not once did she ever mention his height. So I don't think it helped him in that regard, but they did prove his point to be right, as far as like, y'all seeing things over the things that I can't change. You can change your attitude, but you can't change your height, type stuff.
No, I agree with you 100%. That's why I said in the Twitch, I said it. I said it was the right argument. It was executed the wrong way.
Yeah.
It was he was right in how he felt. He was right in what he was saying. But the problem was he executed it the wrong way. It was right message, wrong time, wrong person. No, I blocked them. It don't matter. They're not gonna keep popping up. But
I did that already.
Yeah. All right, Bear Claw.
I just want to say, like, I just love the character development of Bryan. How when he first showed up, he was the humble hood short king, when he was in the lineup. And then second time where he was one of the people coming out, he just became this just red pill spawn out of nowhere. And then, this last time, he
in final form.
Yeah. In final form. It was a final form. And you know what? I see a lot of pain in what Bryan was saying. Like, the question is, did it help? It didn't help, but it left an impact, and it sure as heck didn't help the men that came out after. You know what I mean? Because like when a tornado comes out like that in the beginning, it can affect what happens later on. Like I ain't gonna name no examples. I'm gonna just keep it on Bryan. But yeah, so pretty much to like wrap it up, when he was talking to like Jordan, and he was like, "You a girl's girl," and Jordan's like, "What does that mean?" You could tell Bryan he wasn't even. He was in straight, y'all gonna get this work type of mode, and not really letting anybody talk. And he was just kind of like ranting out loud, and I felt, I ain't gonna lie, I saw his pain about being like maybe rejected in the past for being short. Because he says, yo, I'm top tier, I'm a good man, I'm this, I'm that. I'm sure he believes that about himself, and he probably will be a good man to a woman he loves, but you got to be delicate with women, especially women that you want to date, women that you want to show your personality to and leave a good impression with. If you going to be straight in, y'all going to get this work type of mode, of course they all going to pop. And what made it worse, and I even felt I felt secondhand embarrassment, was like towards the end when he's talking about Arlette, like, you know it, Arlette, you know it. They pop on height. You see? And I'm like, bro, you expect Arlette to agree with you? She just going to laugh. Like she's not going to agree with you.
Right.
And yeah, I just saw a lot of pain. I don't think it helped. It definitely left an impact, and it probably didn't help the next guys. But yeah, I don't think it helped.
Right. Okay. Shout out Bear Claw. Joy.
Okay, I think my mic's working. My thoughts, I honestly don't know why Arlette brought him back. Like, he already been on here 2 times before. I seen the clip of like the viral clip of him like basically going down the line and like arguing back and forth with all the women. I didn't see the part where like he first came in and so I don't know what triggered him, but he said something where he was like, oh, this is just real life or something, or like this is not real life or something like that, in the context of like, oh, since all the ladies are like in front of cameras, they're acting a certain way, which I do agree with, because like I feel like when it comes to women, like if you look good, everything goes out the window. No matter how broke you are, how short you are, whatever, like all that goes out the window. So I agree with him on that part, but he was just so aggressive and like I was just cringing so bad. It was a lot. But yeah.
Right. And no, I agree with you, and that's why I said it was even if it's one of those things is it doesn't matter how good your message is or how important the message is, it's how you execute it. If you have a very good message and you sit there and you demonstrate that message in the most destructive way possible, you're going to have a reverse reaction to the point where people will start disagreeing with the message to spite you, just because they don't approve of how you handled that. So that's why I was saying it was a good message. It was the right message, sure. But how he executed it is going to do more damage than it should help, because people won't respect the fact that you just did all this on this platform where you could have executed this with grace, with maturity, with excellence, instead of y'all gonna get this work, y'all gonna get this work. Like you're doing this at women. You don't need to bring that level of aggression at women. This is not a battle rap. This is not a street fight. You don't need to pump your chest out and get the testosterone flowing against women. It's like that's not how it works. It's not a good look. So Yeshua.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Let me just get clarification. The topic you're saying that did his crash out help the other men if it helped them get match or get a match? That's what you mean?
He's basically asking, did what Bryan did it do good for the dating game or the show? Either one you can argue for, or did it do more damage for the show or the dating game?
Okay, I'll talk about the show. Okay, I'll talk about the show. First, let me just say this. I'm a connoisseur for crash outs. I love the crash out, even one that requires little to no. Listen, with him, I think it helped. Now, this might sound weird, but it didn't help him in the short term, because although I support the crash out and I was loving and savoring it, it's off-putting, so it didn't really help him. It caused him to get more pops. But I think going forward, it will help the show, because it will help the girls to basically beat them in line, to let them see their actions have consequences, and to see the way how they treat somebody, or if they pop on superficial reason, it can cause people to be upset and angry. So maybe that might cause them to soften a bit and not to just be so quick to pop on superficial things. Because even there's many tactics, or when, for example, you have a friend and he's trying to get a girl, some people, as the wingman, will actually go to the girl and act terribly with her, give her a bad experience, so that when his friend talk to her, she soften up a bit. I think that's what might happen with the show. So I think it helped in the long term. Short term, no, because it threw off the flow and caused him bad. But I love the crash out. Okay, I loved it. All right, even without instigation, I loved it. So good job, keep it up.
She was toxic.
He said, good job, keep it up.
He said, I'm here for it. King Rod, Coach King Rod.
Yo, what up? Flock Talk in the building.
Yes, sir.
What's up, y'all?
How you feeling?
I'm doing great. How we doing? Hi. What's up, Alex?
How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm in New York right now. I'm about to head back down to Florida soon. So
Okay.
I'm really glad that y'all decided to talk about this topic. I was actually looking for it. I was hoping for that y'all was going to talk about it, so I could jump on and stuff. But
yes, sir.
But yeah, can you clarify the question again, please?
Do you feel like Bryan's crash out on episode 55? Do you feel like it helped the people he was arguing for, like the short kings or all that, or do you feel like it helped the episode in general, or do you feel like it did the opposite? It did more damage towards these arguments or these conversations or the show in general?
Okay, so I feel like it hurt the short kings. One, it hurt the short kings. It helped the show because the show, it can y'all hear me?
Yes, we get.
Yeah.
Okay. It helped the show, of course, because the show is always gonna feed off of the virality of the clips and stuff like that, especially now people are going to watch, but like y'all was saying before, the reactors, the commentary, I'm going to miss the commentary, especially from y'all and stuff. Are y'all doing it on Twitch or on another platform? Or
It's on Twitch. It's all on Twitch now.
Okay, so I have to join Twitch because I'm not on Twitch, so I'll make sure I join Twitch. And I think it actually helped the other guys, and it actually helps people like me, and I'll explain why. So, what a lot of men have to realize, I grew up around mostly women, right? My career in personal training and teaching fitness classes, I've literally been around women the majority of my life. Of course, I've had male figures and friends and stuff like that, but I've been in different types of atmospheres and environments. I've been a bouncer as well, so I've been in the club. I've been a club promoter. So literally, I've seen behavior, of course, behavior with all women is not the same, right? But there's certain patterns, that make women, right? Like women and men are different. One of the things that women always ask for men to have is emotional intelligence, right? That's something that women constantly, when they come on the show, they ask for men to have some type of emotional intelligence. The reason why women ask for that is because they want to be able to know that in a situation where things get tight or things get, or things get bad, or things become uncertain, the pressure's on. They want to be able to know that you can handle the responsibility as a man, because typically we're seen as the more logical of the two genders. Mm-hmm. When you go on a show, and this is technically his 5th time on the show, if you think about it, because remember the reunion and also the BM talks to them. So literally he's been probably one of the most circulated people on the show. But this is his 3rd time on the show, which I thought you only get two times, but that's neither here or there. When you go on the show, you have to understand, right, that there is this stigma about height. There are certain things that, and certain patterns, if we've watched all the shows, we know that typically women are going to go for someone who is a bit taller than them. They want someone who's dressed neatly, let's just say neat, fresh cut. They want to see that you present yourself properly. They want to see that you talk properly. And also, some of them do want that little edge to you and stuff. They don't want you to come out timid. I'm not saying they are perfect or that they do a great job of picking all the time. I'm just saying there are certain patterns that they go after. So the way that, you don't do yourself any favors by behaving the way you behave and emotionally reacting the way you react. There's a reason why, unfortunately, you are on the show again for a 3rd time. I'm not saying he can't get anybody, but there is a reason. There's a pattern. And I think sometimes us as men have to start looking within and start seeing that sometimes we are the problem. The reason I say that is because when I used to go out, I'm 6'3", by the way. So even at my height, right?
Hey.
I used to still have problems getting women. The reason why I had problems getting women, even though I'm 6'3", is the way I carried myself in public. I used to watch Martin and Wayne's Brothers. I grew up watching Jamie Foxx shows. So I grew up watching these shows where let's just say I was a goofball and I used to do a little bit too much, right? Thinking that is what's going to attract women. But what happened is, even though I got a couple of women, I didn't get the results that I always wanted because people saw me as a goofball. They didn't take me seriously, and women didn't think I was someone that they could see as their boyfriend or their man. So I had to take a look at myself, and I had to readjust how I carry myself in public. I've been rejected because I have muscles per se. I've been rejected because sometimes maybe some people don't like me because I'm too dark. I've been rejected because maybe my feet is too big, whatever the case is. The one thing I don't do is I don't allow that to get the best of me. Okay? The women on the show, women are generally hypergamous, right? We always hear this term. Especially in the show on there. Okay, thank you. Yeah. I'll close with you're good. I'll close with this. The women on the show, not saying again they're perfect, but again, they're trying to select the best mate. So if you don't meet that criteria, of course they're going to pop because they only have so much of a selection to go. So I'll land my plane by saying if you go on a show, just make sure you carry yourself accordingly because you're not doing yourself any favors by doing what he did.
Got you. No, he cooked up. He cooked up.
Thanks, Rod. That was good.
He cooked
up.
Anytime. Yes, sir. All right. We're gonna let Miles, then Nitro, then Smiley. So Miles, go ahead, boss man.
All right, the boss man is here. Oh, cool. Did it help or hurt in the situation that we're talking about? I think it helped. It definitely helped in the real world. It helped out a lot because the real world, like he said, it's not like that, and everybody kind of knows that it's not like that. It's this weird kind of transition. People get on the show, I guess, in their mind, they just think, 6'4", 6'5" is it. That's just kind of what it is. I think where he messed up was he's not playing the long game. He was playing the short game, which is kind of funny because his height is short too. And I want to give a shout out to Bryan too because first of all, you got on lifts. So I don't know why you sit there. Like, we've seen you too long. Like, you are not that tall. Like, stop it. You are not no 5. Everybody know he had on lifts. You can tell. Look at the picture. You can tell he got on lifts, and he probably still butthurt about that because they still called him little, and he got on lifts or heels or something. You can just see it. You can look at it because he's never been that tall. I know he's every bit of like 5'4" or like, little. He's very little, so he did something in the matter of weeks. But yeah, man, it's crazy. I do agree with everyone was saying. I think Bryan messed up because he wasn't thinking about the long game as far as outside of the show. If he would have had a good showing, he could have somebody, hit him up who maybe watched the show and be like, hey, I want to take you out, and think about that. We've seen on this show now that, and I know personally of all the behind the scenes with the chat that I always bring up all the time. And I know some things about the whole Jordan and T. I ain't gonna get into it. If anybody want to know, we know what happened. But yeah, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, he's not playing the long game. He's got to play the long game and think about the other people in the world. There's 8 billion people in this world. I think sometimes it hurts his feelings because it's coming from black people, as opposed to like if somebody non-black says something about his height, he wouldn't care. But coming from your own race, it does hurt. I can see why he feels like that. But yeah, man, he's got to think about the long game. He had balloons every time he's been out there. He's had balloons that was waiting for him. And then he shoots himself in the foot all the time. Does he have every balloon up in the air for him? No. But hey, having 5 out of 10 is still good. The whole goal is to leave out there with 1. And he just didn't. He's got to play the long game. He's not thinking straight. He's not thinking clearly. And it's unfortunate. But I think maybe he needs to do like it's a match. But what he did say, he made great talking points, like you said. His talking points was great. It was just bad execution. Right. And minus the girls who have been on the show before, that's where he messed up at. He should have worried about the girls who wasn't there instead of worrying about the ones that was there before. And the one that was on the Love Mountain edition, think nobody was gonna know, but we saw her too. He should have just focused on the people who were more concerned about him, who's not been on the show, and just did a good showing for them instead of going out on a mission.
Hey, I agree with you 100%, Miles. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, and no lifts. You only wear lifts when nobody knows, but everybody knows he's not that tall. Yeah, he tried, but I give him kudos for trying though.
All right, Nitro.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
So, what I say, 27 weeks, and I had to make some quick points. It's been a while since I made some points. Some little notes here.
Talk your talk.
So if it helped or if it didn't help, no, Bryan's situation did not help, but it also did in the sense of it's to show like men do have feelings too, as well. All right. But he is also responsible for his actions. Like you got to be responsible for how you react to certain situations, and people are going to take that in, especially on a speed dating show. They're going to look at that just like one of the ladies said. It's like, yo, this is how you're going at it with the ladies out in public. How are you going to be like with me? When we get into an argument or things like that. So all their points are valid, right? But we cannot talk about Bryan without talking about Alicia first, because she brought up something that was completely off of the show, right? They both been there. Like she's been there just as many times that he's been there, and she's gonna put him on blast, and it wasn't warranted. He went about 2 or 3 more ladies after that, and they basically co-signed what she said, and then that's when he said, yo, you know what, y'all go and get it. Because so he had control over that crash out. So in the sense of someone triggered it, and I think at that point he was still focused on going forward. It's just that someone's there in his face calling him out on stuff. Is he supposed to be there and not defend himself? Right? So yes, I'm going to allow him to defend himself. Right? And for his whole crash out, just like Yeshua said, I was there for it. And for the moment that I was in the chat, you guys see me in the chat rooting for that, because I was like, yes, he's shooting himself in the foot at the same time, but if Alicia didn't say what she had said, that wouldn't have happened. She's been on the show at least 3 times for the Pop the Balloon part of the segments,
right?
And I think she was standing in the same spot 2 or all 3 times.
Yeah, similar.
And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, she's popping on the exact same reason she popped on the first time when she was on the show. Right. So, and she's a content creator that, that's what she's doing full time, I believe. Right. So it's like, I'm going to say she triggered it. She lit the fuse. Right. So when I got to the second or third lady that was talking to him, that was ready to blow, and he was like, yo, you know what? You're all going to get it. So instead of him focus on whoever he went there to focus on, whoever wasn't there, from the times before, they got caught in the crossfire. And you know what? It is what it is. But I do trigger it from that start of it, because he was calm for a little bit, and then he goes off afterwards, right?
I agree with you.
I think we ought to give him some slack.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. I do think Alicia, there is a fault to be had towards her. I do applaud you for calling it out, because it is ironic that he got cooked for being on there so much, but she was on there just as much. And so, but my thing is, I also agree with he should have. That's why I said he had to. If he would have kept it to the game plan and he would have did it in a more mature manner, he would have been golden. I think it got to the point where even this lady right here, the one that's on screen, she said, Jordan, she said specifically, I know I watched you on previous episodes. I know about how you act, but I took it upon myself. I said, I'm going to give him a fair shot. I'm going to get rid of all that, and I'm going to give him a clean slate, fair shot, an opportunity, so I can see for myself how he is. And he ended up doing exactly what I saw online. So that's where he shot himself in the foot, because she was going to look past and that's why I said it gets so weird. We want people to look past the height, look past the things, and then when we do it, I said this on the Love Mountain reaction, it hasn't been posted yet. like how women bring up height, height, and guys get mad. Oh, this height thing's not fair. This height thing's not fair. But then as soon as there's a woman who's like, hey, I don't care about the height thing, I'll give you a shot, they immediately reject them. And it's weird. So it's like, but I get what you're saying. I do think that it was triggered. He should have just, he let that emotion that a lot of guys gotta, like a lot of people, not guys, people have this atmosphere of I gotta win so bad that they don't realize I gotta win, but I'm destroying everybody behind me who's on my team. They're getting killed in the crossfire, but I gotta win. You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure. I just think because of that situation, and then the ladies then said height, and they didn't just say height. That height came off a bit aggressive. I don't know if I'm tripping on that, but I feel like when they were saying height after that, it came off a little bit aggressive, and because it just ended up being that just after he had that argument, which it turned to him saying, okay, you guys are just using height as a cop-out. And in real time, you can see it being used as a cop-out. And it's just like, maybe they just didn't want to get into it with him. But again, like I said, that fuse got lit. The fuse started. The gas was in the air. That fuse got lit. Boom.
Mm-hmm. Because even when you look at Jordan, if you look at when she was there, she didn't pop until he started crashing out about wigs and weaves towards the other girl. She had her balloon that whole time. She wasn't following everything, and it wasn't. But he was like, oh, it wasn't until he was like, oh yeah, like so if I start bringing up the wigs, the weaves, the makeup, and then all that, suddenly it's not fair and all that, and it's just like I understand why she popped at that moment because it's like, all right, man. You got all this, and it just comes off as pure animosity. That's the problem. But shout out to Nitro. Smiley.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing it today?
Doing great.
What's up? I feel like I got 2 points. So like for my personal experience, I feel like a lot of people be talking themselves out of getting women, and this is a perfect example. Like, he talked too much. If he just shut up and let it flow, he'd be cool. Like, he a good looking dude. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's just sad because he did that before with the dark skinned woman. She was real tall, and she had like the bang or whatever, and she said, well, the height or whatever like that, and he was like, well, you still said it though. I'm like, dude, come on, man. But yeah, people just talk too much, man. They need to let it flow. Cause it's like, dude, you 41, you got a 20-year-old daughter, bro, and you still like even depending on a show to even experience true love. Cause remember he said like, oh, it don't be like this in real life. Then go in real life and get a real woman if it ain't like that. Then you get what I'm like, but you on this show though. But it ain't like that in real life. But in real life, it's not successful for you either. So it got to be like that in real life too. You get what I'm saying? But that's my point. But then another thing too, I do want to talk about your Sheen topic with the disabledness and stuff like that.
Okay, we can do that. We can do that topic. We can do that topic next for sure.
Yeah, cause I do got something to really say, cause it's more of a personal thing for me, cause I could really relate to it personally. But yeah, like yeah, man, go in the real world then. So that's all I got to say.
That's valid. That's valid. Okay. Everybody else has spoken on this. I think Chris or Mr. Yankee, if y'all had like a final quick point to make, go ahead. That way we can move on to the next topic.
You want to go first, Mr. Yankee? Hello?
Actually, Chris, I'll let you go. I can see to let you go. I'd rather close it out.
Okay. Yes. About the girl in the pink dress. Is everything okay? I'm hearing voices.
No, I forgot to mute him. You're good. Go ahead.
Okay. About the girl in the pink dress talking about she's a quote unquote Christian, that's questionable for a lot of reasons. Because the reason why I say that is she mentioned about plans. And to me, when somebody says about plans, I want to hear it doesn't matter what my plans are because it's all about God and where God wants to lead me. To me, that is the true mark of somebody that's an actual Christian. Because if you're making up plans for yourself, you're not letting God lead you. See what I'm saying?
Okay, I get the point you're going at. I can understand it.
Yeah. So, and also about the character, all of them were ratting off about their accomplishments. They never really talked about each other's character. They just talked about, oh, well, I'm getting a degree in psychology, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So they never really talked about each other's character because they just ratted off their accomplishments. That's all they really did. They didn't really get deep, if you will. But yeah, that's all.
Got you. All right, Mr. Yankee, pack it up. Let's get to this last topic.
I will close by saying this: how can you be deep when majority is shallow? When you're in a sea of shallow, and that's not really a sea. That's actually a lake. Not even a lake. It's a pond. Only get swallowed. Now, with that being said, I can truly say this though: out of all the women that I would at least give the benefit of the doubt to out of this whole lineup, I would have gave it to what's Olga? Go to number 9 and the other one that had the paint. It's not paint dress, but it was her. The last one before camera flash. The one next to Black, because I don't know what her whole thing was. She was trying to be all in the camera, trying to, stuff like that. And another thing that was weird about her was, like, thank you for coming and stuff like that. Like, so pretty much we just because you keep on repeating the same thing, I kind of peeked game of it because at first I thought she was trying to be funny, but then she was funny, and she was serious. So. But you know what I'm starting to hate right now, and hate's a strong word, but in this case, it's warranted. I hate when people, especially on these dating shows, men and women alike, but a majority of the women nowadays, which I'm seeing, are weaponizing their faith and religion in order for them to cut short of God. But then again, if we're not supposed to be judging, why are we judging on short people?
Right.
Long as you're short, long as you're not short, we won't judge you. Like that's like an oxymoron. That's an oxymoron to me. And majority of the women, with the exception of I didn't even peep game about Jordan not trying to give him a shot, but it was just something about Jordan. She's like a type she psychoanalyze everything, but not focus on what's internally broken in her realm. So before you start, so for me if I was hypothetically speaking in that township and she was a therapist, I'll look elsewhere because there's a fact. Just like you seek guidance from something, that's a spirit too. You don't take certain spirits home.
20 seconds.
Especially from somebody like that. And that's about it. Right now, that's all I can think of right now.
I got you.
So that's why I'll close with that.
All right. Yeshua, go ahead and raise your hand. Thank you, Mr. Yankee. Yeshua, raise that hand, brother. Let's get to your topic. This will be the final topic of the night, so we're gonna keep this consistent. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. I will not be letting people go over.
Topic, please.
Stay on topic. If you derail from the topic, I will just move you and cut you off because we don't need to sidetrack from the topic. Go ahead, Yeshua.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Magnificent. So this topic, right? Basically a talking point to deconstruct the whole attraction thing in dating, that they have to be attractive, you have to be attracted to them physically to be exact. And I did in the group, the couple I was talking about, they're married. The man, he's not that conventionally attractive. He has a disability of sorts, we cause him for look so. They actually met like Arlette and BM. It was a long distance relationship. They talked over the phone and then they struggled to meet each other. Once they met each other, it just kicked off from there, right? And everybody, as you see in the video, everybody who see them keep on make assumptions, say, oh, she no love him, she's only with him because he have money, he must have money, it must be something, she can't really love him because him looks so quote unquote ugly. However, in reality, he's the one that doesn't really have money. He's the one that's sick. She's the one that makes the bigger income. She's the one that basically takes care of him most of the time. So the question would be, do you agree with me that attraction is the least important or not even important in dating? And if not, why?
Okay.
And if yes, why?
I will play the clip. I can't play the music because it seems like she's playing something. We reap.
Yeah, I've seen their content.
Yeah. So I can't play the song, but it seems like they happy. It seems like they've
been married for a long time. I see their content on YouTube too.
Yeah, they got a long list. My thing is the dude's not even ugly. I think the problem is it goes back into everybody has their own personal bias of what people are supposed to look like, but it's like you guys are writing them off. I think the funniest thing is if this dude hit the gym and just swole up, he would fill out his face and everything. But again, he's sick, so I don't want to say he should. Like right here, he look calm. Calm fit. Calm fit.
Why you look at her like that?
Calm fit. Hey, shout out to him. Go ahead, Smiley, raise your hand, bro. All right, guys, if you guys want to talk on Yeshua's topic, let's do it. Let's get to it. But Smiley, go first, brother, because I know this one might be a little bit more in your realm of the understanding and experience. Go ahead, I'm gonna let you cook up.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you for the time. So this really hit close to home because like I was bound to the wheelchair too. I got like a condition called cerebral palsy. So it like my dating life was never really like hard, you know what I'm saying? It was more so like, cause I was a cool dude in high school and stuff like that. Like people used to push my wheelchair and like feed me, cause like I never had the experience to go up to a woman. I don't know how that feel, cause the women used to come up to me, cause they always wanted to know like, hey, what happened to you, da da da. The only thing that I had to worry about is like the fetish, like, oh, I never like, been with a person like this. Let me try something different. And like, I never wanted to be nobody like fetish and nothing like that. So like, that's the only thing that I really had to worry about. But like, getting women was never really a problem for me. And like, even when Yashu said like the money thing, like he probably getting like a lot of social security or whatever. I don't know how his situation is, but let's be honest, the SSI checks don't be a lot of money. So when y'all say, oh, they with them for the disability check, we don't get that much money at all for our disability. We really get mess over if we really want to talk about it. So like, let's be real. So that it can't be for money, cause like me personally, I only get like what I ain't gonna really say, but it's only a couple $100.
Don't put your personal out there.
So it's like you can't even live off that. Basically, what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? So it's like when y'all bring up that money situation, it really make me mad because it's like y'all don't even know what y'all talking about. First of all, second thing, like it just y'all got to be more education educational about it. You know what I'm saying? But like that's the only thing that I had to really worry about. It's like the fetish type thing. Like, oh, I'm finna try something different, or you know, like, and that's about it though. Cause like it's really messed up though, because it's like you can't even love a person for real, because like I don't know, like cause of regular society. But yeah, it was never really a problem for me personally.
Okay, talk your talk, Smiley.
Shout out to Smiley. Thank you for your story, brother.
Oh, dang it! Why did Smiley? I'm sorry. Smiley, I'm sorry. Yeah, come back up.
He came back. He came back.
Yeah. Y'all know I don't ever do that on purpose, bro.
Nah. I was saying you fine. You fine. That's all.
All right. Shout out Smiley.
That's all.
All right. Chris, can you guys repost the question so Chris can answer it?
Whoever typed it, hold on, y'all.
Whoever typed it, yeah. That way Chris can know the exact question. And while she's typing it, how's your day going, Chris? How you feeling today?
It's going well. I just want to say this is my final flock talk, so I will give the crown to Miles.
Dang, what happened?
Miles will now have my crown. Yeah, this is my final flock talk, ladies and gentlemen.
You going somewhere, brother, or what's happening?
Going.
No, there's a lot that has actually changed in my life. So just need some time away and all that great stuff. So Miles will now be the king.
he's
I know you.
He's dropping off the mantle. He's passing on the torch. The question is, will Miles take it, or will he drop it in front of him?
All right. Did you post the question, Alex?
No, because I don't even remember what the topic question
Yashua, can you do us a favor? I know we already had you speak, but can you do us a favor and remind Chris of what the topic is, please, brother?
Yeah, because I didn't get a chance to type it out.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Marvelous. So the topic, it's basically deconstructing why attraction is obsolete in dating. Because many people, like we see on Pop the Balloon, you have to be initially attracted. You have to be attractive. You have to look a certain way, have a certain body type, features. But based on their relationship, attraction and physicality was never in play. They had a long distance relationship, and then when they met, it was never about how the person looked. So, do you agree that physical attraction is obsolete in dating, like it doesn't matter? If yes, why? If no, why?
Okay. For my final thought on this, since this is going to be my last one, I want to say from women's aspect, they don't necessarily look at a man's looks. They look at a man's behavior. So what I mean by that is that man confident? Is that man dominant? They look at those two traits. And guys don't really believe that women can be genuinely attracted to them. So that's a big issue that I actually see in guys, because they're saying that particular woman is attracted to that man because he got money. No, maybe he liked something in his character that actually stood out to her. But the problem is too many guys are watching this Kevin Samuels red pill stuff nowadays, and they only believe that the only way to get women is looks, money, and status, and that's not true at all. So how you actually get women is just by being confident, and just by being who you are, and just by being a masculine man. So looks are also subjective too, but that varies. So I would say for women, it all comes back to how you present yourself as a man. So like, do you get haircuts, right? Are your clothes clean? If you got all that stuff going on, you're good, really, to be honest with you.
Okay. Hey, Chris cooked up. All right. Nitro, if you got something to say on it. If not, then we will give it to Mr. Miles.
Sorry about that.
Yep.
I was trying to unmute myself. For For people that are, superficial, I'm going to say yes, attraction does matter to those people. But once you start diving into just, the same thing, you're like falling for your type is not working out, then hey, yeah, you got to start staying away from, what looks pleasing to you, what you're attracted to, and start taking the time to get to knowing somebody. And then if you're more faith-based, like you're more religious, you're more Christian, you got to take the time to get to know them and see if they're on that same walk or a similar walk to you towards Christ, and judge it off of that, judge it off of attitude, judge it off of things that need to be worked on, things that you can tolerate, things that you can not tolerate, strong deal breakers and things like that, and don't base it so much off of a preference. So yes, it matters, but it doesn't matter to those who matter.
Okay, I like that. I like that. It doesn't matter to those who matter. Let's go. Nah, he cooked up with that one. I like that. All right, Miles. Miles, where you at, brother?
Right here. Here.
Were you here to see the announcement that your number one rival in the space is stepping down? He has put his crown down.
There was a song that said, "It's so hard to say goodbye." That song hits home when your partner leaves. Shaq and Kobe didn't get along. You know what I'm saying? But man, did they put up numbers. Chris, when you ready, man, when you get ready, me and you gonna have to talk, because I think me and you got good chemistry online. I don't like you, you don't like me. I think that's good for ratings, man. What you think? What you think about a podcast for both of us? What you think about that? What you think about us going at it? Huh? What you think about us debating on stuff? Oh man, we like yin and yang, oil and vinegar, baby. I'm trying to tell you, I'm the vinegar though. He the oil.
Big pause. He said pause. Big pause.
Yeah, why y'all gotta mess my flow up? I had a nice little moment. Y'all gotta ruin it with the pause. There y'all go.
We didn't say it, bro. He said it. We didn't say it.
Chris. I was. You know what? That's why I'm the king. Go take your little break. Go do what you gotta do. We ain't want you no way. Just for that. I want you to go. Get off my face. Yeah. Can't wait for you to leave. Can't wait for you to leave. I've been praying on it too. Thank you, guys. Yeah. I prayed on it too.
All right, get to the topic, bro.
Okay, I'm a little confused on the topic only because it's like we're talking about two different things. So we're talking about attraction, or we're talking about disabilities? Which one are we talking about?
No, so
is it both or?
Nah, he's basically talking about how Yeshua's point was basically how he feels physical attraction, or Yeshua, why am I speaking for you when you right here? My fault, man. Go ahead and talk your talk, Yeshua.
He said, do I gotta explain again?
Yeshua, look, it's been late, man. Eric kind of ruined all of us. Our brains been fried. I mean, come on now. You got to give us some grace, okay? So give us some grace. Eric messed us up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Excellent. No, I understand. Eric did a number on all of us. Eric, I don't want to see or even hear Eric again.
Hey, don't be mean now. Don't be mean.
Yeshua, you gotta be nice.
He's still a member of the flock. Y'all can't do that just because he did one thing y'all don't like. That don't mean he gotta get excommunicated. All right.
Yeah.
It'll block DNA raise up a while ago. So
I'm tired, bro.
Regarding the topic, so when I was mentioning the attraction, I was bringing up the couple that I posted in the chat. With their relationship, physical attraction had nothing to do with it, because he has a disability. He doesn't look, in society's eyes, when I say he looks ugly or what, that's what society thinks because of the comments. Their relationship had nothing to do with physical attraction. They had a long distance relationship. He doesn't look conventionally attractive, and when they did meet, it was never about looks. So the question is, do you agree based on that physical attraction is obsolete in dating, like it doesn't matter? If yes, why? And if no, why?
Okay, thanks. Well, me coming from the, me being a regular citizen and turning disabled as I got older, definitely this topic does hit home too for me. Attraction physically, I don't think is a big deal, only because as you get older, your attraction changes. So it's like you might have a physical attraction, but if you look at other things that can be attracting, my mother always told me when she got older, like in her 50s, said the most sexiest thing that a man could say to her is, "Let me go get my toolkit." Just the fact that he could fix something around the house, that was more sexier than a look. She messed around and dated a guy that looked like Bookman from Good Times. It was like, hey, that man was a handyman. He could fix anything. I was attracted to that, as she got older, So it's like attraction does change. And especially coming from the disabled area, a lot of times, like my lady, for example, she likes me for me. She met me before I was disabled. So she knows who I was and who I am before everything happened. And then she basically was like, no, I'm gonna stay by your side until you get back to who you are. And as of now, I'm like 5% more to being back to who I was. I'm talking about going from ground zero back to, y'all know my story. Like it's impressive. It ain't easy, being disabled, but I had to fight every day. But nobody in my life ever looked at me differently. I had a couple girls that I used to talk to that don't look at me the same anymore. It's unfortunate, but that comes with the territory. I don't put no stock into that. Attraction level is more than just physical. It's it's mental too. It's your confidence. It's how you view the world, how you stand on your 10 toes. Are you a man's man? At the end of the day, that's attractive to women, regardless if you're in a wheelchair, regardless if you are blind, if you got one leg. I know people with literally no arms that are more masculine and more leadership than people with arms. It doesn't matter. It's just a matter of just your mental, how you got your head on straight with the world, and how you don't let the world crush your life, and you still push forward no matter what. Getting up is the most powerful thing a woman likes in a man. Going to the top is easy, but falling down and getting back up, those are the real men that women are really attracted to. And like in the real world, that's really what it is.
Okay. Wow, talk your talk. Talk your talk. Now, Nesh, hey, am I late? Yeah, we're wrapping up, but don't worry. We repost the entire Flock Talk for the public. It will come out. And for everybody, don't worry. I will be cutting out that beginning segment, so y'all don't have to go through that. I will cut it out. I hear the feedback loud and clear. It will not be in, so don't worry. But Mr. Yankee, then Monet, and then that will be it. You missed something. I unmute.
Hey, yeah. Oh. Beauty's only skin deep. Hey, hey, hey. Beauty's only skin deep. Oh, yeah. Beauty's only skin deep. Hey, hey, hey. Beauty's only skin deep. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to tell you. And the reason why I said that in song, because being handicapped, that's not a factor. Being disability, that's not a factor. You only become a cripple if you believe in it. If you're a fully functional human and you're able to be, and your personality outshines that, then everything else doesn't matter. Because the main thing about it is when it's all boiled down to, at the end of the day, it's about how you are inside. That's what I learned from my parents. That's what I learned from my grandmother, and that's what keeps me moving today. And that gives me no fear. I'm like Daredevil when I talk to women. I'm gonna tell you like this: a man without fear. Because why? The only thing you can say is a yay or a nay, and I have to accept that. So, the first thing to getting in any type of woman's peripheral is knowing oneself and being true to it. Now, with that being said, yeah, the dating world goes by looks, appearances, and clout and status, and how many on your social media front. I'm not about that. I mean, I got trust me, on my Facebook, I got enough. I got 6 pages almost at full capacity. But in the same token, that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, when I gotta wake up and look at myself in the mirror, I gotta make it count for today and there on out until I get my last bell rung. So with that being said, Long as you present yourself as a human being first, as well as a man, that's the most attractive thing, because that's half the battle right there. Half the battle is knowing that you're a good individual and not compromising your morals and your judgment and your character to be something that you're not. And that's where I ended it.
Hey, talk. Shout out Mr. Yankee. Monet. Miss Lady Monet. Major Monet.
Hi.
Ain't seen you in a while, thug.
Hey. Yeah, just finishing first year of college. It's fun. Very fun. But to answer the question, do you agree that physical attraction does not matter in dating? Well, I think it really just does depend on the person. I can speak on myself personally. There have been times where I backslid a couple times, I guess you could say, and I wasn't really operating as I should have been as a child of God and as a Christian. And for a while, like, physical attraction, it mattered to me, like, heavily, because I wasn't looking at personality traits. I was just looking based off what I could see. And that wasn't how I was supposed to be doing it. Because, when you're in the dating world and when, a person is presented to you, you're supposed to look at their spirit, like their fruits, the fruits that they're producing, whether they're producing good fruit or bad fruit. And I think it really just depends on where you're at in your life, because you could be, I don't know, like 16, 17, and everybody around you is saying, oh yeah, you have to have the finest guy, you have to have the cutest girl, she has to be a 10 out of 10, she has to have all this, and that can influence you so heavily. I think when it comes to like attraction and it comes to dating, I really just think it depends on your headspace and the things that you're surrounding yourself with. Because if you surround yourself with, the Bible and people who, have like good success stories about, how they came about their partner and everything, that kind of plants those good seeds. So that way you're able to pick the right person, and attraction won't even matter, because you'll see their personality when they talk. You'll see their spirit, that if it's, the right one, if they're aligned with God, or they're just like, I'm losing the word that I was saying. So I'm going to cut it short, but yeah, that's basically it. I think attraction shouldn't matter. It shouldn't, but we're in a society where things like that do matter, and it sucks. So yeah, that's my TED Talk.
Hey, W TED Talk. I'm not mad at it. All right. With that being said, my lovely wife, is there anything else you would like to add as we pack this on up?
On the topic or just in general?
Just in general. Say whatever you feel like.
Nah. W Flock Talk yet again. He said the air crash out was worth preserving. It just has to be its own video, probably, maybe at this point. But no, I feel like that topic, all the topics were good. I feel like even the first one that we had, it wasn't really a topic. It was more of like just an icebreaker while we were getting prepared and stuff like that. And y'all don't have to always agree with us. To each its own. You guys are, entitled to your opinions. It's just, we try to bring evidence with our opinions and with what we're presenting at the same time. But I can understand how it was exhausting for a lot of y'all. Yeah, for the most part, all the topics were really good. Shout out to Smiley, shout out to Joshua, shout out to Chris, even shout out to Eric, because
he still came on here respectful.
That's how the topic got started. Yeah, he came on here respectful, and he presented his points and all that kind of stuff, and everybody gave their tidbits, so I respect it. Shout out to everybody in the YouTube, the Discord link. 1 second, I got you.
All right. With that being said, I would like to thank everybody for coming out to the episode 27 of Flock Talk. Do not forget to go follow the Twitch. If you guys want to see everything that we can't put on YouTube, go to the Twitch. Go to the Twitch.
The Twitch is fun.
Some of y'all, the Twitch is very fun. If you guys don't want to wait for the videos to come out and you guys are like, oh, I want to see the reactions and all that, go to the Twitch. The Twitch is there. It's there. Everything that happened that you're looking for is there. Go to the Twitch. All right. Other than that, don't forget to like our other content. Reddit stories will be coming out along with the other content. So the plan for us to do it, for every Reddit story that comes out, Reddit stories will drop in the morning. Regular reaction content will come out in the afternoon, and vice versa. That's how we're gonna do it. You guys are getting 2 videos a day. You guys should support those videos. Those take time, but we are dropping them videos. Streams, we will be trying to have at least 3 or 4 streams a week. Okay, we're gonna try to do that. So other than that, please like the videos. If you guys click our videos, watch it all the way through. It helps us. Share the videos, share it to other people, show some love. But other than that, we pray you guys have a blessed day. We thank you guys for all coming out. We thank you guys for being supportive. And at the end of the day, we love you guys and have a great night. And this concludes Flock Talk 27. Peace.